Folks, President Donald J. Trump is still president. He's still president, no matter what they say. And he will be president until such time. So just wanted to make certain that you guys are aware of that. Coming to you live, please feel free to share our podcast. We like having you on to communicate with us. Tell us your opinion. So far, we've been getting a lot of good responses. And some of you are probably tired right now of politics. And we're going to try to mix things up as we go along because we just can't always talk about politics, although I love talking about politics, as well as my co-host at Small Town Andrew. And tonight we have another co-host with us, Sean G927. So again, join us. Definitely communicate with us. Follow us on social media, on Twitter and Parler, and let us know what you think, because there's a lot that's taking place. And we have a voice, and we want that voice to be heard, because we know that the mainstream media, they're just not going to do it. Not even Fox News. Shameful. So what have I done? I've switched to Newsmax, folks. So, hey, join us tonight, Mega Media. Without further ado, I will type in or let in my co-host. How's it going, guys?
It's going great. How you guys doing?
I am doing just peachy keen. Sean, how's it going?
It's going great. Good to see you.
So, what are we going to talk about tonight? Let's start off talking with politics, and then we will kind of pivot to Christmas, because it is Christmas, and it is okay to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You know, when I was a kid, I thought it was really neat saying Merry Xmas, because I didn't understand what they were doing. I didn't realize they were trying to take Christ out of Christmas. So I, being the kid that I was, I'm like, oh, this is neat. I can say Merry Xmas. Then I started to think about it. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Why am I saying Merry Xmas and it's Christmas? But of course, a lot of people, they were just like, Bronco, that's right, it's Xmas, it's Christmas. And then I took the pill, the red pill, folks, and I woke up. And now I'm saying Merry Christmas. And we also have a president, President Trump, who likes to say Merry Christmas. What do you guys say?
I say you're exactly right. We're saying Merry Christmas again, as President Trump says. Did you guys see those pictures? Melania's done up the White House once again. I think she topped herself. Looks amazing.
Yes, I saw that. It was incredible. And of course, the media didn't give her any credit. And I don't understand, why is it that they don't like this beautiful, attractive woman who's highly intelligent? What is it about her that they just don't like? It's amazing that they have so much, just like bile in their throat for this woman. And she's gorgeous.
Yeah, it seems like they just hate her because she's President Trump's wife. And as we've seen, the left hates anything that's associated with President Trump, whether it's his wife, his kids, anything that's associated with President Trump, they seem to hate.
Yeah, but it's like, come on. I mean, she's the first lady. She hasn't appeared on any of the fashion magazines. And this woman, you're talking about a fashion icon. She is a fashion icon. And why is it that they don't like her? I think they're jealous of her, to be honest with you. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, think about it, He's got a hot and intelligent wife. He's got a hot and intelligent daughter. He's got a good-looking family. The guys are well-kept, good-looking guys with their stuff together. Even Barron is starting to grow up now, and he's looking like going to be a good young man,
He is huge, but Melania, man, she's stunning. She speaks several languages, and she was a supermodel. But they keep saying, oh, well, Michelle, nothing against Michelle Obama, nothing against Barack baby's mama, but come on, folks. This woman, I mean, she's beautiful, and she's intelligent. Why they won't give her props? Just plain jealousy. I'm like, she's not on any fashion magazines. It's absurd. I can't believe it. This is the first lady of the United States, the freaking United States, and you guys can't put her in a magazine because you don't like her husband? Are you serious? Some of the people you have on the magazine, it's like, really? You want that out there? I don't think so. I mean, this is it's crazy. I mean, Melania is a very beautiful woman. And but because of President Trump, no, it's like, okay, we're not going to put her out there. We don't want her out there. We don't like her. We don't want to see Melania Trump. Just selfish. And I would think the first ladies would get together and say, hey, this is your first lady. And you should have her out there. You guys should be proud of your first lady. But no, Laura Bush, Michelle Obama, quiet, off in their own little rooms. Michelle, she's busy twerking with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Laura, I guess she's off, reading her books in her library. But it's really shameful. It's shameful. And this is a woman, you would think that women would stick together. Where is now? Where are those women? Why aren't they out there protesting? Why aren't they out there saying, hey, this is the first lady. We should be uplifting her. We should stand together. Sisterhood, come on. Power to the women. But no, nothing at all. They're sitting back mad. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Completely unbelievable.
I'll never forgive the mainstream media for the way that they've treated Melania Trump and the entire Trump family through President Trump's entire reign as presidency. Melania Trump is easily the most gorgeous first lady we've had. She's the first pretty first lady we've had, period, since Jackie Kennedy. Usually they look like weathered grandmas or Michelle Obama, for Christ's sakes. Now we've got Melania, who's just a gorgeous model, and the media doesn't put her in any magazines. They don't feature her. They basically do anything they can to try and make her look bad just because it's President Trump's wife. It's really sad.
Yeah, they're. I guess they're intimidated. They're intimidated by her good looks because she's such a beautiful woman, and they don't want to say anything about her. So it's like, yeah, nope, And God forbid, Dr. Jill Biden, who had an affair with Joe Biden, that's her claim to fame. So she'll be decorating the White House or whatnot if Joe is successful in stealing the election. And yes, stealing the election. And I will say that for the next 4 years, if he is successful in stealing the election, if they were able to say that Donald Trump colluded with Russia for almost 4 freaking years and there was no evidence, I'm going to say that Joe stole the election. And I would say, and the rhinos, backbone, and impeach Joe Biden. I don't want to have it any other way. Impeach him and then impeach Kamala Harris. Little camel toes there. I want them all impeached. I mean, they started this and we should end it. I'm tired of being Mr. Nice Guy. I don't know what you guys think about it. You can have your own opinion, but I'm going to say impeach, 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 impeach every freaking day. If Joe is successful in stealing the election, impeach him. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think you make a great point. And I mean, and going back to, this image of women, that liberal women have increasingly tried to present themselves looking more and more masculine. And it's like, what is the attract? What is the appeal to that? I understand, feminism and women's rights, but you can do that as well by being good looking, and that's okay. It's okay to be good looking. It's okay to be attractive. It's okay to have guys like you, and just the progression of the liberal women. I mean, it's just gotten insane. And look at some of these other media outlets, like, for example, Sports Illustrated, right? I grew up reading it when I was a little kid. I got a Sports Illustrated every week, and the one issue you got to sneak in past your dad would have been like this swimsuit issue, right? You may have had a swimsuit issue when you were younger, right? And it was great, and the photos weren't that racy, I mean, it was obviously in bathing suits, but they were just good photos. And nowadays, at Sports Illustrated, it's their point to make a transgender on the cover of your Sports Illustrated magazine, and it's just gone further downhill, and no surprise at all to me or to you that they did their sportsmen or women of the year, and it's a whole bunch of woke athletes like LeBron James, and there was a women's soccer player on there, anybody that kneels for the anthem, well, they were part of this, so I mean, not that I'm going to be reading that magazine or whatever it is anymore, but it just shows how downhill that publication has gone, and it's down for the count, so to speak.
I don't get it. Why would Sports Illustrated put a transgender woman or whatever on the cover or inside the magazine? I mean, I have nothing against transgenders. If you're transgender, more power to you. That's fine. Okay, but why would you want to put that? It's more of a political statement that they're trying to make, as opposed to, appreciate the female beauty, the female form, the female body. And I'm sure that there are a lot of other models who would say the same thing, but they are afraid that if we speak out, we might get shut down. We might get ghosted. And it's not fair. The same thing with having transgenders compete in female sports. Title 13, I think it is what created sports for women. And now you have guys that are going in, competing, and winning. That's just not cool, and it's not fair. And no, I'm not homophobic. No, I'm not transgender phobic, but it's not fair. It's not fair to women. Look at all the little girls on the sidelines who are saying, hey, this is my chance. And now you're going to bust in all these other people and you're going to say, no, this is a girl also. No, it's not fair. We're going to stop this bull crap. It's nothing but bull. No, it's not bull crap. It's bullshit. I'm sorry. If there are kids that are watching, I'm sorry. I just want to call it the way it is. It's freaking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Okay? Stop this. I mean, it's like we're going crazy. And please hear me, patriots, if you live in Georgia, and if you're mad, if you're sitting on the couch, eating potato chips, in your pajamas, in your boxers, scratching your butt, and saying, I'm not going to vote because I'm mad because they cheated, okay, you're cheating us the opportunity to keep making this country great again. Because John Ossoff and Ralph Warnock are two radicals. And the moment they get in, you think what you see now is tame. It will be a complete jungle out there. So you better get off your butts and you better go and vote. Suck it up and go vote. Vote, vote, vote. Okay? Yes, they might try to cheat, but you still get out there and you vote, because your life, your livelihood, your kid's life, your grandchildren's life, your cousin, your brother, your sister, and whomever else depends on it. You better get out there and vote.
Yeah, well said, Rob. Did you guys see this story today about Eric Swalwell? Apparently, he had a relationship with a Chinese spy a number of years ago. Mr. Russia collusion himself, Eric Swalwell. He went on TV for years and claimed that President Trump had colluded with China. It came out today in Axios report. Eric Swalwell was actually, or with Russia, Eric Swalwell was actually colluding with China, it appears, or if not, he did have a relationship with a Chinese spy. He had to be briefed by intelligence. This guy has just got egg all over his face after this. What a joke.
Yeah, it is a joke, and it makes absolutely no sense. And like you said, this guy spent so much time attacking the president, saying that the president did this or the president did that, and he was the guilty party. He was the one who messed around and did this and did that. And I hope to God the media calls him out. Knowing them, they won't say anything. They'll just dance right over it and pretend as if though it didn't exist. But I thought it was really funny when I saw the picture of him, and I guess she's Miss Chinese. I don't know, but I'm thinking, are you serious? This guy, Mr. Self-Righteous? I mean, oh God, it's unbelievable, completely unbelievable. And there he is right there. We got his picture up there because I want everyone to see this. I don't want you guys to go to bed not knowing who we're talking about. Eric Swalwell, look at the woman that he's with. I don't know if he was married then, if he wasn't married, but he was sleeping with the enemy. I don't even know if he was sleeping with her, but they were doing something. They had a rather serious relationship. So you go and define serious. This guy would come out so many nights and swear up and down that they had the evidence. They had the evidence. And he's not the only one. There's probably a lot of others that are out there. What do you say, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, and we've been saying, these especially these Democrats are in bed with the Chinese. Well, Swalwell literally was in bed with the Chinese, so he's got that top. You know, so it's just, man, it's one hypocrisy after another, right? Because, how many years had we heard about, Trump was with the Russians, he was in bed with the Russians, right?
Yeah.
All this conspiracy, and then we find out the same stuff has been going on with the Democratic Party and the Chinese and
Yep.
some of our rhinos, unfortunately, our rhino Republicans as well. It appears, they're taking the Chinese money as well, and it's just so much hypocrisy, that we had to deal with this for however many years we've seen Trump in politics. That he was with the Russians and then the Ukraine and all this stuff, and I mean, man, just such total hypocrisy, and it's just really. It's mind-boggling. And then these people in Georgia, going on your point, Rob, like, hey, if you're in Georgia, you got to vote, right? I don't care, hold your nose and vote, right? Because I was reading, people were saying, well, these senators that are on our side are rhinos. Well, maybe they are, but guess what? You should have thought of that back during the primaries.
Exactly.
And yeah, and the thing is, this is going to still be a better option than communists that you would get from whatever your two leftist senator candidates would be. So sorry, you might be getting a rhino, but I mean, you should have thought that during the primaries, Georgia.
Yep. You gotta
Yeah, that's like exactly what I said the other day. I live here in Illinois. Georgia is still a red state. Overwhelmingly, they have a Republican governor, not a very good one. But here in Illinois, we've got it so bad. Every single time there's an election, Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth go up for the Senate. And we have to try and vote them out every single time. Georgia, you do not want to become another Illinois and have a problem on your hands like a Dick Durbin or a Tammy Duckworth. With all the fraud in Georgia, it looks like they're trying to turn it into another Illinois, New York, or California, a far left state with Stacey Abrams and her history of cheating and mail-in voting and all this crap that we have going on in Georgia. But all the Georgians need to get out and vote. You do not want one of these deep state, lifelong politician Democrats getting in, and then it's a lot harder to get them out once they're already in.
Right. And Republicans need to do a better job at grooming future candidates. Okay. Now, I'm glad now that Donald Trump is the head of the party. I know that there are a lot of rhinos that are going to try to wrestle this from him. But I think the step that he's taking now, he's going out. I hope he does more rallies to let them know, look, I'm the big daddy of this party and not you guys. Okay. And then he needs to start getting people, identifying candidates and running those candidates. Because the people that we have out there now, I mean, they are, I don't like them at all. And I don't know if we can trust them. We got to go ahead and vote in Georgia. Vote like your life depends on it because we need them. We need these people there. Okay. But do not doubt, this is Trump's party. Trump has trumped them all. And I think that's what's going on here is that a lot of Republicans are mad at the fact that this is Trump's party and that he calls the strings. And he will be calling the shots and saying who will be in, who will be out. And a lot of them just don't like that, especially Ben Sass and Mitt Romney. They need to be primaried. I mean, once we get over get over the hump here, we should fight like crazy to primary those guys. Who knows? I might move up to Utah, wherever they are, Idaho, and primary them. Since you can work anywhere in the United States, thanks to the Democrats, that they've shut down the entire freaking country just about. What do you guys think about that? Shutting down the country. You can't go out to eat. You can't do this and you can't do that. But if I were to say, hey, this is a church of Rob Harper and start stripping at the church, oh, they will let me stay open. But if I open up the Bible and say, hey, let's have Sunday school, shut him down. Shut him down. What are your thoughts? I mean, we can't continue like this. This is crazy. It's absurd.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such hypocrisy. And the thing is that, they've singled out churches and they singled out restaurants. They singled out bars. And most of these are locally owned people. Could be you or me owning and running this business, and we're the ones that have been singled out. And we're talking about a church where most churches have a lot of space, right? A
Yep.
big sanctuary where you can spread out, and unless it's a packed capacity church, you can do that pretty well. Same thing
Yep.
goes with a restaurant or a bar. You can space out. Where I go to a restaurant or a bar, we wear masks, but we're spaced out enough, and it's fine. But it continues to be, well, if you go to the big box stores, the Walmart, go to Target, whatever else you want to add to this, that's perfectly okay, even though there's hundreds of people like right in the same vicinity there at a Walmart, and many of them don't know how to wear a mask anyway, because that's Walmart, right? And so it's just total hypocrisy. And the sad thing about it is, like, man, how many other small businesses in your town or my town are going to lose their business for good
Yep.
in the next few months, as they have already?
Yep. And it's not fair. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Rob. And you just look at the state of California as a perfect example. They've been locked down since March, and mask mandates all over the state. And now California's got the highest infection rate in the entire country, and they're aiming for the highest infection rate on the entire world. California is a disaster, and they've had strict lockdowns since the beginning, and their citizens are not standing for these tyrannical lockdowns. I saw a video the other day. They were partying outside Gavin Newsom's mansion because they do not want to listen to his lockdowns that are just crippling the economy there.
So Gavin Newsom lives in a mansion. No, is this the governor's mansion or his own individual mansion? Because we know that he is the nephew of Nancy Pelosi, and they probably get together and eat $20 ice cream or $50 ice cream in her new refrigerator where she keeps all of her ice cream. These people are pathetic. And then she's going to come out the other day and say that now we have a new president, or the president-elect. I'll now do a deal to help the people. Are you serious? And the media said nothing about it. That's one of the things that I think that people are so angry over and angry about, that they're getting away with murder. I know in my heart of hearts that this election was stolen. I know in my heart of hearts that Nancy Pelosi cares absolutely nothing for the American people. Because if she did, she would have worked on a deal to help the American people. When this pandemic, this China virus, biological warfare, in my opinion, was put up on us back, I think it started as early as December, but then we started shutting things down in February or March. At that point, the Democrats saw this as an opportunity. Let no crisis go undone. Use it the best that you can. And they started all they could to rig the election and to do everything to destroy this country. And when it's all said and done, and people really start looking at the damage, the financial damage that's been done, especially in New York and California, it's sad. It's really sad. And when I hear people complaining, I wonder the people that are complaining in the restaurants that are saying we should open up our restaurants. This is not fair. I don't believe this. You're killing my livelihood. There's a part of me that wants to ask, who did you vote for? And if they were to say Joe Biden, I would slap the living heck out of them. They say, well, what the heck do you think? If you keep putting in these stupid Democrats, do you think they care about you and your livelihood? Do you guys wonder that? Who did they vote for? Did you vote for Biden or did you vote for Trump? And this is all happening in blue states. The states are supposed to be so forward thinking. They're destroying the states. So I just want to know, who the heck did you vote for? Did you vote for Trump or did you vote for Biden?
That's a great point. And I mean, you bring up some of these blue states, right? It was a little alarming to me to see how quickly some of these so-called blue states were called. I mean, all leading up to the election, I was seeing all these things like rallies in California and places outside Los Angeles. Like, wow, you never would think you'd see a MAGA rally somewhere out there. I saw one outside San Francisco, of all things, on the videos, and to think that, like, all of a sudden you get to election night and, California's called blue within like 1 minute of the polls closing. It's like, wait a minute, something's a little bit fishy here, you know. And some of these other states, like it was mentioned that Arizona, of course, that was the big one election night that was just called straight for Biden, and which is still up in the air now, you know. And other states, for example, like Minnesota, you know, Minnesota was just called straight blue. Well, that to me seems a lot closer than just being called straight blue. But unfortunately, the media that we have, you know, they were on top of calling things blue, because you call blue as soon as you can if you're them, because that's going to, you know, get people disheartened, deterred from our side, and, you know, to lose faith in the process, or not vote even if the polls aren't all the way closed, you know.
Yep.
I mean, they did that in 2000 in Florida, right? They
Mm-hmm.
called Florida for Gore. They made that blue when the Panhandle of Florida, part of the Central Time Zone, hadn't finished voting. And it turns out it was at Panhandle. Those votes, you add those in, and that's what got George W. Bush a narrow victory that election night earlier on, you know, in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I think they purposely do it. The media, they purposefully call these states, as we saw that Fox did with Arizona, so that people will lose faith and say, hey, you know, I'm going to give up. I'm not going to vote. You know, and it's really unfortunate that this happens, that we see this taking place. It's really unfortunate. Because you would think that they would say, hey, let's just wait until all the votes come in before we start, you know, predicting and making all these analysis. But, you know, as we've said before, statistically, when you do look at the numbers, it's virtually impossible that Joe Biden won. I mean, he won. Now, I know that what we've heard from the Supreme Court refused to hear the Pennsylvania case, but now you have the Texas Attorney General who's filing suit against all of the key battleground states. I think it's Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan. And then you have a lot of red states that are joining in on this lawsuit. And from what I've been reading is that what happens is that when all these states go in together and say, hey, we're going to sue these states, it immediately goes to the Supreme Court. Now, whether or not the Supreme Court will hear it is a different story. Some legal analysts are saying, hey, that was a very clever move. This is good. This is what we want. But then will the Supreme Court hear it? Are they going to be willing to say, okay, let's take this in? Now, I don't care which way it goes. No, I take that back. I do care which way it goes. But at the end of the day, what we want here is a fair election system. And I know that the media has switched this and turned this so many different ways that they think that, oh, no, you guys just want Joe Biden out. Well, yeah, we want him out, but we also want a fair election. And I know what Sidney Powell is doing. It might take some time, the Dominion machines, but it will be interesting to find out when she does get that nod. And if it was that Dominion flipped votes to Joe Biden, what will be said? How are people going to react? Fast forward back to Texas suing all the key battleground states. If the Supreme Court hears the case, I believe that they will probably say, okay, yep, this should not have happened. You guys didn't do what you should have done. But I don't think that they'll put enough muscle behind it to halt the election or to overthrow the election. I think that they'll let it stay the way it is. I don't think they'll give any guidance, so to speak. They'll just say, yep, what happened should not have happened. Now, I think that the legislatures can and should step in and say, wait, this is wrong. Judges, activist judges cannot make laws. And what happened here was illegal. But I don't think they're strong enough to do it. If it were Democrats, this thing would already be settled. They would have already said, nope, he didn't win. It's our guy. You know, because they're like that. But Republicans, they try to be too nice because they want everyone to like them. All the more reason we have got to dump the Republicans that are there and get in true Republicans. What do you guys say? I know I said a lot there, but any part of it you can opine on. Or even in our chat rooms, feel free to say what you want to say, and I'll put it up on the jumbo screen.
I agree, Rob, wholeheartedly. After this Senate race here in 2021 with Loeffler and Perdue, we might have to vote in a couple rhinos, people who live in Georgia. But after that, when the primaries start, we need to find some quality America First candidates. I'd love to see all of the Trump family run. I think Don Jr. would be fantastic. I think Eric could handle it. even Ivanka or Jared Kushner could run for office, and that would
Yeah.
be fantastic. But the main thing is we just need America first candidates. We are sick of voting for these rhino Republicans who have not had President Trump's back.
Yep.
Props to Ted Cruz, who mentioned today that he is willing to speak in front of the Supreme Court on behalf of President Trump in the voter fraud case. So props to Ted Cruz for having President Trump's back there. But yeah, after these runoffs in the Senate, we need to focus on putting in America first Republicans and not these rhinos that we've seen that have been weak and not had President Trump's back as of now, like Governor Kemp.
Yeah, completely weak. And what's wrong with the phrase America first? It's not a racist statement. Biden is talking about America first. Bill Clinton talked about it. Obama talked about it. It's just that when it comes to President Trump, it becomes, oh, it's racist. It's a racist. What do you say, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, it's just such a double standard here, Yeah, as Andrew was just saying, I mean, man, we've got to find some way to get back to the grassroots one way or another, I mean, regardless of what happens with these last 2 Senate seats, and we still obviously have a fight here for the presidency, but it's about recruiting from, the lower levels. We call it grassroots. If you want to bring back what we call the Tea Party, that's fine too, And going back to what a point Andrew made, because he's from Illinois, right? Well, I remember it was, years ago, back when Barack Obama, right? He was a community organizer, right? Back in outside Chicago. He became Senate, right? And then, of course, we know the story. He became first-time senator to U.S. president in a pretty quick time, right? It was a fast ascension. Well, one big what if I like to talk about, right, is back when Obama was first running for senator, there was a Republican guy that was supposed to run against him, and at the end, he didn't. Can either remember who that person was? It was a famous person in Illinois.
Joe Walsh?
No, not quite. That'd be fun, though. No. Any other guesses?
Blagojevich, or
no?
The rest of it.
No. The Bears coach Mike Ditka was the guy that was supposed to run as a Republican for U.S. Senate.
Wow.
Yeah, back then, he's a good American, good conservative. Ditka, the coach, they love him there. The Bears,
Wow.
And he was supposed to run. And imagine how popular that dude is in Chicago, plus the rest of Illinois, when you can pick up other, Republicans in other parts of Illinois. I mean, he could have beaten Obama. And then the rest, that alters history, perhaps.
Yep. Wow. That I did not know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting tidbit there. It's a shame that even if he did run, Illinois is so full of fraud. He would have had an uphill battle overcoming the fraud in Illinois, because these blue states, you think it's bad in Georgia and Arizona. These blue states that have been Democrat for 20 plus years, the fraud is really rampant here.
They said that Chicago is just riddled with all types of crime, the politics, just like Pennsylvania. And and Barack Obama is from Illinois, and look at what we got with him. It's a complete disaster. And the guy's so completely self-centered, but it's just, again, and I can't say this enough. The three of us can't say it enough. Georgians, get out there and vote. There's a lot of money from Hollywood that's going into Georgia. And I want to remind Georgians that not too long ago, I would say about 8 years ago, a lot of these Hollywood types were saying, boycott Georgia. They wanted you to lose all of your jobs because of your different political stances. Now they want to come in and tell you who to vote for. Remember that. Don't forget it. Remember, these guys don't like you. They are using you, and they're good at using people. So don't forget about it. I want to give a shout out to this other person, just speaking of Hollywood, Matthew McConaughey. Now, I don't know what his political stance is. I don't know if he's just saying this for now. He is from the South, as I am from the South. He's from Texas. He's a good old Texas boy. But he's been speaking out against the Hollywood folks, as well as another Whitney Cummings. She's been speaking out. And I wish they had done this prior to the election, but hey, they're doing it now. And this just shows you that people are sick and tired of the rhetoric coming from the left. They're tired of it. I mean, this crazy stuff that they're talking about. It's like, shut up. Who do you guys think you are? Yes, you have a voice, but I mean, trying to change the dynamics of the country just to suit you and your weird behavior, it's not going to work. And one more thing I want to bring up, I see this person's name, Letitia James. She's the Attorney General for New York. She's a very sad woman, and I don't care for her at all. And I'm trying to find her because I want to put her picture up. She has every intention of going after the president. Once Joe Biden has stolen the election, she wants to go after the president and his children. They want to ruin the president. So you have all this chatter that the president's going to pardon himself, and the president's going to pardon himself, and the media is talking about it, and this person is talking about it. Well, the only reason why they're talking about it, if he does or if he doesn't, the only reason why they're talking about it because they want to make you assume that he's done something wrong. But in actuality, he hasn't. Because if he had done something wrong, they would have already found it, and he wouldn't be in office. And that's the damning thing that makes you so angry that they keep saying he's done something wrong, and he hasn't. Whereas if you look at Barack Obama, who spied on the Trump campaign, and now I don't even want to talk about AG Barr because you guys already know how I feel about AG Barr. Okay, I'll talk about it. Okay, if you guys insist. AG Barr is right now, he's on my meter scale, the meter is going toward being a loser. And I don't know what the heck he's doing or what he's not doing, but for the sake of peace and humanity, man, wake up. You're sitting at the head of your own dinner table and you're acting like the freaking butler. Like, are you serious? They're running railroads all over you. First you say there was no collusion, and then, well, I'm going to look at it. Oh, I'm going to do this, and then we don't see you. Then you're going to say, well, Durham, he's going to be the special counsel, and this report will come out, oh, I don't know when. It's like he's marking down the days on the freaking calendar when he can get out. I just can't believe this guy has been such a letdown. It's just, you guys go ahead. I'm having a moment here. I'm having a moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's really mind-boggling what's happened with some of these people, and it's really gotten down to a narrow list of like people we really think that we can trust, whether they're MAGA and they're true MAGA, or they're true patriots or whatever you want to call them, or maybe even true Republicans. We can say that, and there's so many of these, like people will say, hey, wait a minute, this guy said he was for Trump, but then he did this that was like kind of like not for Trump, and then. Like you mentioned, what is AG Barr doing? Yeah. Sometimes Lindsey Graham is like the greatest Trump guy. And then sometimes he says some really crazy things against Trump. It's like, what is that all about? And then Ted Cruz, I agree with you that Ted Cruz is, he's really got the president's back now, and I totally believe him. Now, I do remember at the same time back during the convention where Ted Cruz, remember, we were a little worried about it because he was like, vote your conscience. He didn't say vote for Trump that night. And that was a pretty big thing, So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to wonder.
Well, something that you just said, and it's so true, is that you wonder who's for Trump, who's not for Trump. And I just want to make something clear here, because a lot of people get it all screwed up, disembobulated because they're listening to CNN, MSNBC, and even Fox News. I'm just going to start throwing Fox News in there because there's this one lady there, Jedediah Belial, whom I just don't care for. Her issue with the president, I'll say this and then I'll make my statement. Her issue with the president is that someone in her family had COVID-19, okay? And she feels as though the president didn't do all he could have done or wasn't straightforward and blah, 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 blah. So she's holding that against him. Okay, well, this is what I want to say to all these people who are saying, well, the president should have done this and he could have done this. He was listening to the freaking science. And who was the science coming from? Dr. Fauci, the person whom you guys are holding up in high regards. He was listening to Fauci. And Fauci should come out and just say, folks, I screwed up. Okay, the president was listening to me. I gave him his lines. Yes, he might have deviated slightly, but everything that he did was because of me. But no, Fauci won't say any of that. He sits there goes in all these little interviews with Governor Cuomo and on CNN and MSNBC and making it seem as if though he's Mr. Innocent. But he is the science that you knuckleheads keep saying, listen to the science, listen to the science. Well, if you listen to the science, you listen to Dr. Fauci, who apparently wasn't listening to the science initially, because Dr. Fauci said earlier on, oh, this thing is just like the flu. It'll be gone pretty soon. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, don't wear a mask. Oh, we don't need shutdowns. And now he's saying something completely different. So when you say the science and you talk about it, please look at Dr. Fauci, what he said, and look at his statements. And if you just can't manage to go to Google and find all the information, go to megamedia.net and you'll find the information because we have it there, okay? Or follow me on Twitter or follow at Small Town Andrew because I have all of the videos, all of the clips and the statements right there at your fingertips. And you can see what he said and what he didn't say. Now, back to my statement as to what Sean was saying, as far as, you know, who the president can trust. I mean, it's a big swamp out there. And when we're saying the president can't trust this person or that person, we're not saying these people should do the president's bidding as in do something illegal, okay? But when the president selects a cabinet member or someone in his close inner circle, he trusts that person will do the things that he believes in, which is what all presidents do. And when you see that the person isn't falling in line, it's like, okay, you want to do things your way? I got to let you go. That's typical. It's not unusual. So when the media is telling you, oh, he's going to fire this person because this person's not standing up, remember that same person the media trashed. Remember, they wanted to impeach Barr. But see, some of you forgot all about that. They wanted to impeach him. They wanted to get rid of him. But now, all at once, because he said, oh, we don't have any evidence that there was fraud. Oh, they love him now. We got to make certain that he keeps Barr in place. We got to make certain that he doesn't get rid of Barr. Now, if Barr were to come out tomorrow and say, initially, we didn't see any evidence of collusion, of fraud, but we have now looked at it, and we do see some things that we need to look at, they would turn on him so quickly, it wouldn't be funny. So understand when we're saying that the president needs someone that he can trust, not someone to break the laws, but someone who will follow through on these things. And a real attorney general would have looked at this information and said, hey, there's something here. A real attorney general would be calling the Texas attorney general and saying, hey, what you're doing, I like what you're doing. Let me know how we can help. And he would put that little tidbit out there so that the media can pick up on it. The only thing we're saying is throw us a freaking doggy bone. Why are you always putting things in the media that are so contradictory and negative to this president? That's it. That's all we want. Be fair. You don't have to. It's like if you don't like this president, step away. Guys, I just had to get that off my chest.
No, I mean, that was well said. I mean, you know, because if you look at things in hindsight, if you were Trump, you know, we talk about like who you would trust, you know, and it's like, I don't know what the ratio was of like people he brought from his old, you know, life, you know, so like, what about, you know, these people that have worked for him for, let's say 40 years or whatever, you know, to bring them into the White House or wherever else, you know, I think there needed to be more of that, you know, because some of these people where he knows he could trust, you know, maybe there was too many of these Washington politicians that were left in there. And maybe the answer was to clean house even more, you know, or drain the swamp, you know, like, because I remember even seeing people on that his TV show, The Apprentice, you know, granted it's a TV show, but I could still tell he trusted those people. I mean, he brought them, you know, the people that worked him in the boardroom, and he made friends even on the Celebrity Apprentice. And then there were some really good celebrities there that knew how to, you know, market and knew that, you know, I feel that Trump could have trusted, you know, like, for example, Gene Simmons at Kiss was one of the best people on the Celebrity Apprentice, you know, sounds funny to say that, but I mean, he is a genius at marketing and somebody that I think would be, you know, good in a Trump, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
And I mean, early on, he brought in Linda McMahon from the WWE, right? I mean, because, you know, they're great at marketing as well, you know, and having her and her husband, Vince, of course, I mean, stuff like that. Well, they trust each other. I mean, Trump has been on pro wrestling WWE for years before this.
Yep.
Yeah, I like what you're saying, Sean. It's a good idea to hire people outside of the DC swamp and politics in general, because they've proven time and time again they cannot be trusted. It looks like once in the swamp, always in the swamp. It looks like what President Trump has ran into. But shifting gears just a little bit here, I think we all love Santa Claus. Who doesn't? But how about a woke Santa Claus? The Santa Claus decided to make a kid cry the other night. Did you guys see this? Where he would not give him a Nerf gun because he did not believe in giving out guns apparently for Christmas. This is just absolutely despicable. Anything to get kids outside nowadays, you should encourage. I guess if you would have asked for a tablet and been able to play games where they're shooting each other up all day, that would be fine. But asking for an actual Nerf gun is one step too far. You remember in the Christmas Story movie, you wanted a BB gun. Everyone acted like that was a little controversial back then. It's gotten so bad in 2020 now. Getting a kid a Nerf gun is controversial. What did you guys make of woke Santa?
Oh, that's funny. I heard about that. I heard about that story about the kid. The Santa didn't want to give the kid the gun. This is what I have to say. Okay, not only will Santa not give the kid a Nerf gun because he doesn't believe in it, you also have Santa who's standing behind a protective glass, and kids are taking pictures with Santa with the mask on. Okay, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but if I am going to take a picture, I want my face to be seen. If I have a mask on, there's no need in taking the picture. Okay, why am I taking the picture with Santa with the mask on? Okay, you don't know if I'm frowning, or crying, or smiling. It's like, this makes no sense. I just know a Santa with the mask on. This has gone too far, but now you have the politically correct Santa. I read somewhere that there was a woman who wanted to play Santa. Folks, come on. He's Santa Claus. Santa, give the kid what he wants and take off the mask for Pete's sake. Okay, let's bring the cheer back into the holiday. Do you guys watch that every year, Miracle on 42nd Street?
I've seen it in the past, but not every year.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I've never seen it. I don't know. It seems like it takes them forever. Whenever I start watching it, I fall asleep and I wake back up and it's still on. I'm like, man, this is a long movie. But it's something that people like to watch during the holiday season. I was out and about the city today, walking around, looking at the pictures, I meant not the pictures, but the scenery, the decorations and whatnot. I'm like, wow, this is Christmas. The only thing that's missing is that all the crowds that you usually see with their bags and their shopping, because the Grinch and New York, the Grinch, Fauci, they want to, Merry Christmas. We can't like Christmas. I like Christmas.
Yeah. You make a good point there. And going back to the Santa with the Nerf gun, woke liberal Santa, And the thing is, in that case, right, the kid asked for a Nerf gun, okay? And I get the Santa doesn't like guns. You simply don't have to say anything. You can say like, hey, okay, let me think about that. Or, okay, what else would you like, But he just flat out said, no, I'm not getting you a gun, okay? And all he has to do is just, dodge that question if he really doesn't want to talk about getting a Nerf gun, because he's really not going to get him a Nerf gun, And so, I mean, it's just simple stuff like that. And you just have to say, oh, maybe we'll see, is there anything else you want,
Yeah.
And the thing is with that is, these schools are so screwed up that if you brought a Nerf gun to school, some school's going to suspend that kid, and then that's going to cause even further controversy.
Oh yeah.
Now, the good news with this story is it does have a happy ending, because that Santa, the woke liberal Santa, they said he did resign from that mall. And they said they had a video, and it's going on Twitter today, of another Santa that visited that kid's house and presented him a Nerf gun.
Ah, good.
So it does have a happy ending. Plus, you've got all these other people on Twitter and other sites that say, hey, I'll buy this kid a Nerf gun. Where do we donate it to? And I think they're setting up a plan to donate those to like the needy kids. So I mean, that's a real happy ending out of what was a disastrous Christmas Santa experience.
Yeah. Serious question for you guys. Is there anything woke liberals don't ruin? I mean, they've ruined music, movies, sports, and now they're trying to ruin Santa Claus.
Well, I think the next thing is, it's just going back to Santa, is that Santa would probably say he doesn't want to use reindeers because he's into PETA. He doesn't want the suffer. That would be the next thing. But going to what you were saying, is there anything that liberals won't ruin? No, absolutely not. I mean, if they can keep us all shut in for Christmas and not coming out, they would do it. And if we happen to have to be shut in, what movies do you guys like to watch during Christmas time?
I'm a Christmas Vacation fan myself. That's easily my favorite Christmas movie of all time. You've got Clark Griswold, Chevy Chase plays the perfect Christmas dad. You've got Randy Quaid, who plays Cousin Eddie, who's just a hilarious character. And he's got the dog Snot that's just slobbering and drooling all over the house. You've got the cat catching the Christmas tree on fire. The movie is just absolutely hysterical and easily my go-to Christmas movie. What do you make of it, Sean?
Yeah, I would agree. That's certainly one of those ones, the Christmas Vacation, as you mentioned. A Christmas Story, that's always one. One station would do 24 straight hours of A Christmas Story. Now, that might be a little bit much, but it's always good to watch it, a couple of times anyway. I was a fan of Bad Santa because, Santa got a little bit naughty, right, in that movie.
It's a great movie.
Elf was a good one too. It was a comedic.
Okay.
If you want classics, like It's a Wonderful Life was a really good classic Christmas film anyway. The black and white, and that's always a good homage to the older days anyway. And there was one, if you were watching like a romantic comedy, that Love Actually was also a Christmas movie. And that was a pretty good one, especially if you're watching that, like women love that movie,
Yeah.
And then there's also Die Hard, which is a Christmas movie because that happened on Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that. A lot of people, and Bruce Willis has said that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, but it came out on Christmas, I think. So a lot of people look at it as being a Christmas movie. My favorite, every Christmas, without a doubt, I read the book and I watch the movie, is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Boris Karloff, the cartoon. I don't like that mess that Jim Carrey did. I hate it. But I love that cartoon, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Love it.
Yeah, that's really great. Sean, I'd have to disagree with one of your choices, The Christmas Story. I freaking hate that movie. It is on constantly, 24/7, every single Christmas year.
What movie is that?
A Christmas Story.
Okay.
I would have to agree. It got overkill.
TBS plays this damn movie for weeks every year, it feels like. It's just like, God, I'm sick of that kid. Shoot your eye out. I've seen it. I've seen enough of it.
No, I totally understand where you're coming from. And like I said, I only can watch it like one out of those 24 hours, or so that's perfectly okay. And Gremlins is also a good Christmas movie.
Oh, I love Gremlins.
You like Gremlins, so that's a classic.
Yeah,
Gremlins is pretty slept on. That's a great movie.
I've never seen Christmas Story. Like you said, Andrew, it comes on every year on TBS, and it goes over and over and over again. And one day, I actually Googled some of the characters to see if they were all alive. Of course, Bill Bixby is dead, but the little blonde-haired kid, I think he's alive, and he's like a Hollywood producer or director or something. But that does come on quite a bit. And of course, there's one that I used to watch when I was a kid. Yes, Virginia. There was a Santa Claus. I like that. That was really it takes me back to my childhood days with the singing and everything. Then you have the Christmas specials. And what about the Christmas songs? Do you guys have a favorite Christmas song?
Well, it's funny on that one, right, Rob? You were saying, going along with what Andrew was kind of saying, how some of these things get overkill. The problem is I have a lot, some really good Christmas songs I like. The problem is that the radio stations will start playing 24 hours of Christmas music in early November, which is what happened this year in the last several years. Yeah. So that gets to be, it gets to be quite a lot, because it's like, okay, I could take a little Christmas music now, but not like November 1st. But if I got to answer that question, I would answer that probably with Wham! Last Christmas. You know, I mean, you really can't go wrong with that one.
Yep, Wham! Christmas movie, another Christmas movie is Charlie Brown Christmas. I love it. The CD, I play it all the time. Sometimes I want to play it when it's not Christmas. And some people will do that. Some people play Christmas music when it's not Christmas. And I don't like to hear Christmas music in June or July because it doesn't have the same feel. But when it's around Christmas time, playing the songs, especially Charlie Brown Christmas, I love it. Mariah Carey's CD, all-time favorite. I don't like all the songs, but she really did that CD up. There are a lot of entertainers who try to do Christmas music, but her Christmas CD that came out, I think, in '95 or something, All I Want for Christmas Is You, 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 I love it. And Santa Baby, the one that the liberals were having a conniption over last year. Oh, you can't sing that. He's forcing her to have sex. He's this. I love that song.
Baby, It's Cold Outside.
Yeah, Baby, It's Cold Outside.
Yes.
Oh, love it.
Yeah,
the other kid song it. Ah, love it. It was a movie that came out. I love that song.
Yeah, good call.
There's another song that The Sound of Music that they play every Christmas year, and it's actually not a Christmas song. It was in The Sound of Music. But somehow it's like tagged to Christmas. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Christmas.
What I think is really cool about Christmas is there's some staples like the Frosty the Snowman cartoon that everybody's seen, the cartoon movie with the songs, and then the Rudolph, where they've got like the doll looking things that they play with the Rudolph cartoon. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's not exactly a cartoon, but they use like puppets or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, those are so cool because we watched them in our childhood, and a lot of our parents probably watched it in their childhood, and hopefully kids today are still watching some of these Christmas classics.
Yeah, some of them are still watching. They're trying to take them off. I remember like 3 weeks ago, Amazon had bought the rights to A Charlie Brown Christmas, and they weren't going to air it or let anyone else air it. And then there's this huge pushback. I'm surprised the liberals got mad about it. And they're now allowing it to be aired, and they're going to air it on Amazon. But I love A Charlie Brown Christmas. And who doesn't like Christmas? Even if you like saying, okay, I don't want to believe in the gift giving and all that. But it's a time to be merry, a time to be together, to be thankful. It's right after Thanksgiving. And it's just, I don't know, it's a beautiful time of the year. And the whole feelings and whatnot, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and they also, you know, if you speaking of the liberals trying to cancel things, I mean, some were trying to cancel Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, that version, because they say that, like, you know, they're making fun of Rudolph because his nose is different. They're saying he has special needs and all that stuff, you know. And,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, they won't stop, you know. And also going on, you know, also that what they're trying to cancel is Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. If you recall that one, there's a scene where Franklin is sitting by himself, not with the other kids.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
saying, they're racist against that.
Yeah. How do they come up with this stuff? They sit around the table and look at it and go, oh, wait a minute. They're racist and they're this and they're that. I'm like, are you serious? This is a cartoon or it's a song. And meanwhile, you guys will go out there and the lyrics to rap music, you'll dance and you'll shake your butts. But all this other stuff, I mean, you're finding fault? It's like, come on, it's Rudolph. Oh, well, they were making fun of his nose and Frosty the Snowman because he was going to melt. I'm like, oh, my God, are you really taking it that serious? Like, man, it's insane.
I like how our president's never afraid to call anyone out. Remember last year when he got all pissed off because they cut him out of the TV version of Home Alone 2? Yeah, they cut President Trump's scene out of Home Alone 2, and President Trump went on Twitter and blasted him for it. I guess anything with President Trump, they try and censor. You don't want President Trump in a kids' movie now, do you?
It's ridiculous. It's like, come on. I think history will look back on this. History is told correctly, and he will be looked upon as being one of the greatest presidents we've ever had. Right now, people can't see it because the media has like completely distorted what he's done. But you look at, and I'm pivoting back here because I know we're getting ready to shut down and go off the air. But you look at Operation Warp Speed. That is phenomenal. What took place within that small window And to get these drugs out there, now, albeit some people said they should have made the announcement before the election. And he should talk about it nonstop, and he does. And the media doesn't, because they don't want to give him credit for it, because they want Joe Biden to get in and they want him to administer, these shots being given. They'll say, oh, well, he did it. But Joe didn't do it, and he wouldn't have known how to do it. But Trump, from day one, when he made the announcement, I remember he was in the Rose Garden, and he said, we have gotten in contact with CVS, Walgreens, and all the big pharmaceutical companies. And they were all there, if you guys remember. They were all there, and they were saying, this is what we're going to do. Now, of course, it faded away, and people forgot about it, because the media started talking about, oh, so many people have died. We have 333 million people in America, okay? 10 million people have contracted the virus. And of that number, 250,000 have died or 300,000 have died. Any number of people that have died is unfortunate. But 333 million people, come on. 10 million who've gotten it and have gotten better. And then you have Operation Warp Speed. It was like Star Trek whenever I hear that. No other president could have done that. He called all these executives in and he spoke to them and said, this is what we want done. And they did it. And we've got to talk about it all the freaking time, because this wasn't Joe's doing. Joe didn't do this. And I hear a lot of people in the media saying, oh, well, Joe's going to get credit for it. Okay. But you guys can stand up and say, no, but this was Donald Trump's doing. This would not have happened if it wasn't Donald Trump. And has anyone in the media said, hey, Joe Biden, don't you think the president gets credit for doing this? Not a one have said that, because they want you to think that it was Joe Biden. They want all the kids that were born recently, who are 5 now, who will probably be 9 when Joe Biden gets ready to leave out. They want them to think that it was Joe Biden, but it wasn't Joe Biden. It was Donald John Trump. Operation Warp Speed. And history, if history is worth anything in history, they will report it accordingly. But of course, you have all these liberals who are doing history, writing about history and distorting history. But we patriots, we citizen journalists, must tweet about it, write about it, and talk about it 24/7, 365 days of the year, because this is Trump's gift to us, among other things. Vaccine with Operation Warp Speed. What do you guys say?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really well put, because it's like, they want to give Biden credit for that. And when he had nothing to do with this, rapid effort, as you were saying, warp speed to get the vaccine out. I mean, this is a record pace if you have a successful vaccine, or vaccines plural, because there's different companies doing one, and it's just really gotten sick to watch the news anymore, because, you watch any one of these networks, even Fox News at times, of course, where they say, the headline will be, Trump falsely claims he won election and he didn't. Yeah. And I was, just watching that today, and it's like, hey, wait a minute. He's allowed to contest this election just like you contested the election for the last 4 years.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's like, man, just so much hypocrisy. And I mean, it's up to the American people, far beyond us to really wake up. And I think a lot of people have woken up, and it's just about continuing that, to get more and more people to really understand. And, the one way of stopping the media is to turn them off, hit the off button, and go find someone else, and go to MAGA media with you guys, or right. There's a plug. But yeah, you were mentioning also like Newsmax and stuff. You go there too. So that's what you got to do.
I agree.
Absolutely right. Turn off the fake news media, the negativity. I personally can guarantee you I have not turned on Fox News. I turned it on election night just to see what they were saying for a while. But before that, I hadn't watched it since the Republican National Convention. It's the best choice I've ever made to eliminate that negativity and fake news from my life. I was spending my days listening to Juan Williams and Jessica Tarlov and stuff like that. Just a huge waste of time. And cut it off. Go to Gateway Pundit, Breitbart, Wayne Dupree. There's so many great websites out there. RSBN Network. Yeah, Newsmax own, and of course, check out ours, magamedia.org. I'm just about wrapped up. How about you guys?
No, I think this has been a great podcast. Really enjoy speaking with you three, and we've covered a lot. Really like the Christmas special that we pivoted to. I hope our viewers like it also, and I hope they share it.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Yeah, that was fun. Hopefully we can do that again before Christmas. Maybe have some more guests on and talk some more Christmas movies and stuff. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who stuck around this long. We will see you guys again Thursday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Be sure to follow Sean on Twitter at SeanG927. Follow Rob at robjh1. And follow me at SmallTownAndrew. Check out the website, magamedia.org. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
It's a wrap, folks.
Nice job, guys. Nice
job. That was good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean. See you later, man.
All right. You take care, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too now.
Oh, it's weird. It says we're still live.
No, we're done.
Okay.
Finish.
Yeah, I thought so. I don't know why it was saying it still says live in the corner. But anyways, great show, Rob.
Yeah, I really like that. So who do we have on Thursday? The guy, Ray Portree.
Oh, is he coming on Thursday?
Yeah, he's supposed to come. So I'll check with him to see if he's going to come on. I spoke with Manny. He's been sick. So I will check with him to see if he can come on Thursday, if he's better.
Okay.
And, Phoebe said that if you can't do it on Sunday, that she'll step in and help me out on Sunday. So
okay, and we are still live, Rob. So we will see you guys again.